Then, now, forever. Together.
And now, WWE presents Countdown to NXT Heatwave.
This is Toronto. It's the capital city of the province Ontario and the most populous city in Canada. Toronto is located along the beautiful northwest shore of Lake Ontario, and tonight it's the home to NXT Heatwave. The NXT Superstars traveled 1,278 miles from the Performance Center down in Orlando, Florida to be a part of Money in the Bank weekend. There you're looking at the Rogers Center. That's the home of the Toronto Blue Jays, but tonight NXT is taking over the Scotiabank Arena. It's the home of the Toronto Raptors and the Toronto Maple Leafs, and for the third consecutive night, WWE will occupy the building. This is NXT's first time returning to the Scotiabank Arena since 2019, and we're going to have the chance to witness the NXT landscape change at NXT Heatwave tonight. So glad to have you with us here on Countdown to NXT Heatwave. I'm Megan Morant. He is Sam Roberts. And Sam, we've already experienced two unforgettable nights in Toronto.
Toronto has been absolutely off the hook, and who could blame them? First with SmackDown, then with Money in the Bank, and now with NXT Heatwave. Historically, Heatwave has been one of my favorite professional wrestling events, and tonight's card certainly stacks up.
Well, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, was on Countdown to Money in the Bank yesterday, and he brought up the long-withstanding history between NXT and Toronto. And tonight, these NXT superstars have a chance to build upon that history.
That history is there, and that history is deep. Expectations are high, but NXT is in a position to deliver. I mean, you've got 5 championship matches, all of them groundbreaking, and for some of those superstars, it's now or never.
Well, one of the champions defending her title tonight is the NXT Women's Champion, Roxanne Perez. Earlier today, there she is, arriving at the arena. The Prodigy defends her title against a woman who was born to fight, Lola Vice.
Oh, I can't wait to see it, but Roxanne Perez is not the only NXT champion defending their title. Trick Williams rocking into Toronto is right, with all the fanfare, but tonight, the greatest challenge of his title reign awaits him as he defends the NXT Championship in a fatal 4-way Champions Advantage thrown out the window as he looks at Shawn Spears, Ethan Page, and the young OG.
The champions Nathan Frazier and Axiom are going to have to get on the same page, or else they'll be taken to school as they defend their titles against Andre Chase and Duke Hudson of Chase U.
Wes Lee has made it clear there's only one thing that matters to him, and that's once again becoming the NXT North American Champion. Unfortunately for him, the man that holds that title is Oba Femi, and that's who he's looking across the ring from tonight.
For the first time on a premium live event, Kalani Jordan defends her women's North American title against the soul-snatching Sol Ruca. Will Sol continue to ride the wave, or will the champion prove that no one does it like Lani?
And we don't have to wait all the way to Heatwave for the action. It starts right here on the Countdown to NXT Heatwave as Toronto's very own Carmen Petrovic and Ariana Grace wage tag team battle against Jacy Jayne and Jasmine Nix.
Can Lola Vice take one step closer to becoming the greatest MMA to WWE crossover athlete? It's the Prodigy, Roxanne Perez, against Lola Vice for the NXT Women's Championship.
Women's Champion, the Prodigy, Roxanne Perez. everyone that there truly is levels to this, and no one in this world is on mine. Whoever you put in line for me, I'm always gonna find a way to win. Because there is not one woman that can take this title away from me.
We about to turn it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lola Vice.
The clock is ticking, Roxanne. A cada cual le llega su hora.
Vice on top, hammer fist after hammer fist.
These fists don't lie.
I'm on the roll now, showing no signs that I slow down. This is the moment it goes down. Yeah, this is the battle, the showdown.
I saw the way you were looking at my championship last week.
Yeah, I was. I'm gonna knock out every woman that gets in the way of me and this opportunity. Now you ready to bring this heat?
I ain't gonna stop until I am iconic.
Now I've been watching your every move, Lola. Within a few months, you built a bigger name for yourself in NXT than you did in Bellator. We're not in the underground. This isn't an MMA fight, which means you're in my world. Ask Natalya, ask Jordan Grace, ask Lyra Valkyria why at 22 years old, I'm already a two-time NXT Women's Champion.
Roxanne, we all know your story. You used to take the bus to go to Bilkers. I was a fighter before I was even born. My mother was pregnant with me during her black belt test. I then went on and became a 4th-degree master in Taekwondo. And at 20, I was already fighting in Madison Square Garden. My mother will be watching me. And I can't wait to call her and tell her I did it por todos los sacrificios que tú has hecho para mí y mi hermana, mami.
Lola, every single woman in that locker room wants to make that same phone call. When you step inside the ring with me, those phone calls are never made. I'm not giving up my title, not to you, not to anybody in that damn locker room.
You don't have to give it to me, Roxanne. I'm gonna take it from you. And when I rip that title off your arm, I will become the first Cuban-American NXT Women's Champion.
Lola Vice, we saw the face-to-face from this past Tuesday. There was a lot of emotions in that moment.
Everyone saw it. Mira. Qué pena. I would have cringed at myself too. But tonight isn't about emotion. Tonight I fight for the NXT Women's Championship. This is the biggest match of my life. Yes, it's for my family, but I left all those tears in Florida. Tonight, I will knock out Roxanne Perez and become the first Cuban-American NXT Women's Champion. Gracias, Sarah.
Good luck. Back to you, Sam and Megan.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Wow, we have certainly seen a different side of Lola Vice. She's a completely different superstar from the time that she won the breakout tournament until now, where she has her opportunity to win the NXT Women's Championship. But I want to go back to that different side we saw out of her at NXT on Tuesday, a very emotional Lola Vice. Sam, does that change the way you view her heading into this matchup at all?
It's got to. She's never shown that side of herself on television or to an opponent. But the thing to keep in mind, I think, about Lola Vice, because I did sit with that, what does this mean? We don't know. We don't know how emotion is going to either play to her strengths or to her weaknesses. That's something we're going to find out tonight. But the fact is, Lola Vice is one of the most dynamic superstars in all of NXT. I mean, Lola Vice has proven that she is not just one thing. Between her fists and her feet, she attacks from every angle. Sometimes she's hip shaking, sometimes she's back fisting people into other time zones. The fact of the matter is, as she's made clear, she didn't adopt this world of combat. She was born into it. And everybody has wanted to stop those hips from dancing. And you know what nobody has been able to do so far? Stop those hips from dancing. And I'll say selfishly and for Lola Vice herself, I hope they never do.
And for Booker T.
And for Booker T as well, legend that he is.
Well, Booker T loves himself some Roxanne Perez as well. We know the history between those two. The prodigy Roxanne Perez trained with Booker T as she made her way to NXT, but she did bring up something interesting on Tuesday at NXT. She told Lola Vice that it's unfortunate that her timing in NXT happens during Roxanne Perez's title run. Is there any truth to that?
Well, I think according to Roxanne Perez, there's truth in that. I think it clearly remains to be seen. That's probably not the way Lola Vice looks at it. But Roxanne Perez has evolved, to say the least. She has become an absolute savage. And she is in this position now where it's like every time she shows up for one of these huge NXT Premium Live events, people just assume that she doesn't know who she's facing. She doesn't know what she's really up against. People assumed Jordynne Grace was going to beat her. It didn't happen. People doubted that Roxanne was going to be able to get the NXT Women's Championship back. It happened. And you know what I saw? When Lola Vice was putting every emotion that she had on display, Roxanne Perez was not moved. Not an inch. She didn't care. She said she's sure that everyone in the locker room has a story just like that. But as long as Roxanne is champion, she's going to make sure that nobody gets to tell that story.
And Roxanne did mention to Lola that this is a wrestling match. This is no underground matchup.
Wow.
This is not an MMA matchup. She is in, Lola Vice is in Roxanne Perez's house. Is Roxanne at all underestimating the aggressiveness that Lola Vice can bring to a wrestling match?
I don't think she is. I think Roxanne Perez is playing chess. I think Roxanne Perez is trying to put Lola Vice psychologically into a place where maybe Lola does believe what you're saying. But I think Roxanne may be the most cerebral, intelligent superstar in the entire women's division in NXT.
Also going down at NXT Heatwave, the men's North American title is on the line. And for Wes Lee, this is a big one because he only has one more chance to dethrone the North American champion, Oba Femi. Well, the Cardiac Kid proved that he's still the greatest North American champion ever.
You know my story with the North American Championship. A career tag team competitor that was forced to break out on his own. Captured that title.
Wes Lee, the greatest North American champion ever. Most title defenses, longest single reign in the history of the North American title.
Literally broke my back trying to defend it.
All of you cheered and supported and gave me the strength to do things that I never imagined I could. But that support won't help me right now. It won't bring back the feeling to my legs. It's gonna take surgery and time.
I've talked about this title so much to the point that it's become an obsession. I want nothing else.
He's here! Wes Lee's back!
I'm running full steam, pedal to the metal, ready to break through the brick wall that is Oba Femi. A man who seems to be unconquerable. Sunday is my first one-on-one title match, and also my final chance at the title that has consumed me for almost 2 years. I need to win on Sunday. If I don't know what I'm gonna do.
The only reason you are revered as the greatest is because you came before me.
I am the ruler, the destroyer, the bringer of war. I am the mountain that you cannot climb.
Wes Lee is living in the past.
I'm the standard as the NXT North American champion, and I'm going to show you exactly why it is my name in all the record books, not yours.
But I understand why. The decorated champion, his connection with the NXT universe. But Wes needs to understand that the beacon of light he once was is slowly beginning to dim. This is Wes Lee's last chance to be triumphant. The Cardiac Kid's last attempt to pull it off and reclaim the championship that took his career to heights unforeseen. But Wes, I'm the epitome of dominance. Every single NXT superstar that has tried to defeat me has failed.
It's still the NXT North American champion, Oba Femi!
Wes, you are great, but no different. Sunday at Heatwave, I will crush not only your body, but I will crush your final dream.
Well, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, was on Countdown to Money in the Bank yesterday, and he was talking about NXT Heatwave, and while he was talking about it, he referred to Obafemi as an unstoppable machine. Now, Sam, what does that mean for Wes Lee?
It means that I hope Wes Lee was not watching the Countdown to Money in the Bank, because that couldn't have been encouraging, coming from someone like Shawn Michaels especially. But Shawn Michaels is not wrong. Obafemi is a self-described crusher of bodies and dreams. He stomped through this entire brand, and on his way, he's left everyone either broken or in utter awe. And the scary part about the NXT North American Champion is that with every single title defense, he just gets better and better and better. And just when you think you've got his number, he hits you with some other massive limb that you didn't see coming.
Cardiac Kid will need all the help he can get tonight as he looks to dethrone Obafemi for the North American Championship. I am just being informed right now that we have some breaking news. So let's get it out to Sarah Schreiber, who is at the Scotiabank Arena.
Tell me.
Hey guys, one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions, Nathan Frazier, has yet to make it to the Scotiabank Arena. If and when Nathan does make it, we will let you know. But coming up, Megan and Sam will break down the NXT Women's North American Championship match, as well as the NXT Tag Team title match, where if Nathan doesn't make it, it looks like Axiom might have to do it alone.
On August 3rd, from the rock and roll capital of the world, comes the biggest event of the summer.
Yeah, I walk right out the fire. Yeah, you try to keep me down, try to put me underground, but I'm only going high.
WWE SummerSlam. Streaming exclusively on Peacock.
Yeah, how's that? Good as can be.
Few roads we travel in life are straight. The journey lies in how we navigate the turns and forge the paths before us. The path to WrestleMania 40 has had more curves and corners than anyone imagined. At the helm of this multi-million-dollar venture is WWE Head of Creative, Paul Levesque.
That man, Triple H, is a 14-time world champion.
The guy at the top has been there, he's been to the top, knows what it takes, and has an open mind.
I look at creative like a GPS, right? I put in the destination, and if you do that, then the GPS just tells you the turns to take along the way, but you know what your North Star is.
For Cody Rhodes, the journey starts in his home state of Georgia. For nearly 2 years, Rhodes has made it his mission to win the WWE Championship. A promise he made to his father, the late, great Dusty Rhodes.
I'm going to give the distinction that my family has long since been denied, and I am going to do it for the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Will Cody Rhodes finish the story?
A year ago, Cody took on the head of the table, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns for the title at WrestleMania 39.
No! Spare!
The moment the referee's hand hit 3 at WrestleMania 39, Roman Reigns successfully defended the title. The audience was clamoring for the rematch.
Despite the loss, Cody remained focused on finishing his story.
I've spent an entire 2 years fixated on the title that Roman has. People kept saying, you know, finish the story. I was saying, finish the story. But there's plenty of things that could stop me. You don't always get the fairy tale ending, as we already found out. But we're still going to try.
The intent was to give Cody a hot year.
Rhodes to the top! The undisputed tag team champions!
And we get to WrestleMania 40 with Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns.
We had that story and that match planned out. But there was another story. A blockbuster story. We had been talking about it for years. It was just a matter of finding the right opportunity in which to tell it. Roman Reigns and The Rock.
We had an opportunity to create another main event in The Rock and Roman Reigns, something that fans have been waiting for years, something that we have been building to adjacently, but quietly, for years.
There is the CN Tower. It's located in downtown Toronto. It stands 1,815 feet, and at one time, it was the tallest freestanding structure in the world. It's used for observation, telecommunications, and fine dining, Sam.
Ooh, I love fine dining, but not as much as this gentleman, all ego. Ethan Page in his Canadian formal wear for one reason and one reason only. And that's to win the NXT Championship.
Ethan Page is looking for championship gold, but Kalani Jordan, she won championship gold at NXT Battleground tonight at Heatwave. It's about cementing her title reign as the first ever women's North American champion as she defends her title against Sol Ruca. Upon arriving in Toronto, champion and challenger met for a workout ahead of their championship bout.
You know, I knew you'd be here. What are you working on?
I'm just supporting on join me.
Yes, yes.
All right.
You can never go wrong with some core, so let's do it. Strong base. Nice. You got this. Yeah. See you at Heatwave.
So glad to have you back here with us in the studio for Countdown to NXT Heatwave. I'm Megan Morant. He is Sam Roberts. We just got a look at champion and challenger working out together ahead of their matchup tonight at Heatwave. And Sam, we don't see this very often. And if we do, it's not often that is just hours ahead of a title match. What do you make of the relationship between Kalani Jordan and Sol Ruca when they're just hours away from being competitors?
It's a unique dynamic, to say the least. There's a mutual respect between champion and challenger that I don't think you ever see to that degree. Here's, I think, what's going to be the difference maker. Who develops that killer instinct when it counts? Because that's what I want to see. This is all about establishing the Women's North American Championship for NXT. And that either means a successful defense or it means already, in a relatively young title, a new champion. I think what's going to determine that is who can leave what was going on in the gym behind and look at that person who may or may not be your friend and become an absolute killer in the ring and make sure that you leave with the gold.
Now, Kalani Jordan and Sol Ruca are both extremely athletic, to put it lightly.
Yeah, I saw it.
And they do have similar backgrounds, but they are different. Now, Kalani, she was a Division I athlete at Michigan State. She's so disciplined, and she lived that lifestyle for so long. Solruka, also a D1 athlete, but she's self-taught. How do you evaluate those differences?
Well, I think that it's two different roads that get to the same destination. The key is going to be what you learned on the journey along the way, because that's two different sets of information. And the most valuable information is the one that walks out the champion. One's comparing themselves to Michael Jordan, the other to LeBron James. Who's the GOAT? Who's the GOAT? We find out.
We could have that argument all day long, but we're all looking ahead to the main event, which is the Fatal 4-Way, where the NXT Championship is on the line. And earlier today, we checked in with two of the competitors in that matchup.
Oh, perfect. Okay, just like we talked about, right? I'll give you the money after we're done filming, but it needs to be like a full reveal. This is a big day. All right, back up. Let's do it. Get the shoes, get the shoes. Just slow pan, that's perfect. Every single inch of denim. Ladies and gentlemen, All Ego here to talk to you about the ceremonial garb of Canadians. I got a show, so let's walk and talk here. Ladies and gentlemen, I am now donned in the Canadian tuxedo. And I wanted to talk to you specifically about my outfit because I'm sure fellow Canadian Sean Spears, who lives a little bit farther away from our venue tonight, will be showing up in, I'm guessing, a three-piece suit, but suits are old news. Tuxedos. Tuxedos are in. And you know who's in town? All Ego Ethan Page, the uncrowned king of Canada. But I plan on winning my crown tonight.
This is where we're at tomorrow. Crazy. 6 months I was on the indies, not expecting none of this to happen. And now I'm at the main event, my first ever PLE for the NXT Championship. And I have an opportunity to be the youngest NXT champion in history of WWE. So you know what's about to happen tomorrow. Your boy about to get bouncy. It's about to be a new NXT champion. Hell yeah? Yeah. Yes, sir.
Tonight's the night, Duke. Tonight is the night we finally reclaim what is ours.
Oh! Ridge is calling.
Okay.
Hey.
Hey, guys.
Ridge.
I just wanted to give you a quick call and wish Duke and Mr. Chase luck. Listen, I'm working on a few things for when you guys get back, but that can wait for Tuesday. I'm sat here watching with the kids, and we're all buzzing, we're all excited for you guys to win those titles and bring some gold to Chase U. I just want to say again that I'm sorry, but good luck tonight.
Ridge, thank you very
so
much.
Ridge.
Cheers, we appreciate that.
Okay, we're gonna go. Bye-bye.
What a guy.
Oh, I like Ridgie!
What a guy.
I feel bad for ratting on him.
Yeah.
Duke, don't worry about it. The only thing I need you to focus on tonight is becoming the two-time NXT Tag Team Champion.
Well, according to our reporter Sarah Schreiber, Nathan Frazier and Axiom are dealing with an arrival issue. They aren't even together at the building yet. They'll certainly have to regroup as they defend their NXT Tag Team Championships against Duke Hudson and Andre Chase of Chase U. I almost just called him Mr. Chase, but he really is Mr. Chase to all of us as we welcome you back into the studio for Countdown to NXT Heatwave. Sam, we heard Duke was reassured that he did the right thing, but I gotta ask you, do you think he did the right thing leaving Ridge Holland behind?
Historically speaking, in wrestling and elsewhere, snitches get stitches, not championships, which is a concern it should be for Chase U, but at the same time, there's a ton of snitching going on all over NXT. I mean, Axiom telling the whole world about what time his partner's getting to the building and everything. There's a lot of drama that is surrounding this tag team championship match. And I'm hopeful for Chase U's sake that they can get past this Ridge Holland thing. And it sounds like Ridge Holland has turned a page on it and they can take advantage of Nathan Frazier and Axiom not necessarily being on the same page, or potentially not even both being in the building.
Yeah, that would be a problem if they're not both there.
For Axiom, yeah.
The matchup. It is now time to welcome on NXT General Manager Ava. Ava, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me here tonight.
Ava, we appreciate your time. It's a massive night for NXT. There are 5 championship matches going down tonight at Heatwave. You are there in the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto. What can you tell us about the energy from these superstars that are competing tonight?
I mean, tonight is a really special night. We're coming off of an amazing Money in the Bank show, and all the superstars that are competing tonight on Heatwave are looking to impress and show out. And I think that is exactly what they're going to do. And like you said, 5 championship matches, so who knows? After tonight, the entire landscape of NXT could completely change.
And I think that potential is there for the entire landscape to change. We've been talking about how these aren't just 5 championship matches, but 5 uniquely paired championship matches, and one of those is, of course, the main event, the NXT championship match. Ava, as a spectator, it feels like NXT has been in chaos leading up to Heatwave, and this main event has evolved with that chaos. Is there any part of you that regrets making this a fatal 4-way for the NXT championship?
No, I don't think so. I stand by my decision to make it a fatal 4-way, and I stand by that because every single superstar competing in that match deserves that championship opportunity one way or another. And I think that making it a fatal 4-way, it gives each superstar the chance to showcase their abilities in the best way possible. So no, I definitely don't regret it, and I think that it is going to be an amazing match for that NXT championship.
Ava, we know it is always a busy time in NXT. Thank you so much for stepping aside just for a brief minute to answer some of our questions. Best of luck to you tonight and to the NXT superstars.
Thank you guys so much.
Well, only Toronto could bring together these 2 Canadians that are from Toronto. Carmen Petrovic and Ariana Grace team up to take on Jacy Jayne and Jasmine Nix. We don't have to wait for Heatwave for this one because it's coming up next.
Yes!
I demand all your gratitude for the leader of Imperium, der Ringgeneral, Gunther!
The mat is sacred.
Buckle up and grit your teeth. This guy is #1 against the entirety of history.
Gunther doesn't concern himself with the spectacle. Gunther is concerned with the Intercontinental Championship and dominance.
The only thing I'm concerned about is not having a worthy opponent to do battle for the legacy of the Ringgeneral.
He has been nothing short of phenomenal.
I elevated this championship to heights never seen before. From this day forth, this title is the greatest prize, the Grand Prix.
There are no ends. There are only means. You are not brave. You've merely forgotten the fear of suffering.
For 451 days, he has ruled as the champion. If he wins tonight, he is guaranteed to pass the Honky Tonk Man, shattering that 35-year-old record. Offense upon offense upon offense. And just like that, Gunther continues his dominant march into the history books. The longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in WWE history.
The Ringgeneral has rewritten history.
This is the 23rd King of the Ring tournament. And he has to tap.
I'm in the business of taking hope away.
It's It's over. Gunther advances to the finals. And the winner of this match tonight earns a championship opportunity at SummerSlam. Gunther went to the bad knee, and now he's got Oink. Got it! Gunther with the win. He's king of the ring.
Der Ring General became the king of the ring.
The epitome of efficiency and elegance. Your king of the ring.
This is a dangerous, dangerous human being.
Am now the rightful king of the ring. I had to step up and raise it to levels never seen before.
There's no man like me.
Tickets for WWE SummerSlam at Cleveland Browns Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio on Saturday, August 3rd are on sale now via Ticketmaster. Also on sale now, Friday Night SmackDown live at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in Cleveland, Ohio on August 2nd, and the night before SummerSlam. Tickets available via SeatGeek. But going down tonight in Toronto at the Scotiabank Arena, it is a fatal four-way matchup with the NXT Championship on the line. Let's hear from two of the competitors in that matchup.
I am a very, very powerful believer. I used to drive by the Scotiabank Arena here in Toronto all those years ago as a young, aspiring professional wrestler. I would always say to myself, one day I'm going to make that happen because I believe. And now, after 2 decades of patience and pain, I have dealt with it all because I believe. So Sunday at Heatwave, I have the opportunity to capture, after 2 decades, the one thing that has eluded me for all that time, the one thing I feel I should have had years ago. And it's the one thing I believe I deserve. After I win the NXT Championship on Sunday, those young and impressionable NXT talent will finally see what it is that I see. They'll see the light. They'll see the truth. And once I'm NXT champion, they'll believe.
So I just touched down in Toronto. I'm walking downtown, trying to clear my mind. I got Heatwave tomorrow, you know. And I usually don't do this. But I got something to say, so I'm gonna get it off my chest. A piece of me feels like I should be honored. Because apparently everybody and their mama thinks that they got what it takes to win a title shot off of Trick Williams. And a piece of me feels like I should be pissed off. Because what in your right mind thinks that out of all the titles in WWE and NXT especially, that Trick Williams is the right one for you to try? I mean, I expect that out of the young OG. He's young, he's hungry, he wants it. I've been there before, I understand that. But the other two, y'all got enough experience to know better. And maybe you think because we in Canada, you're gonna get a little home cooking. Nah, dog. Newsflash. They love Trick Williams all around the world. I'm the most entertaining, the most athletic, the most dangerous man in this business. I'm what happens when you get Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, Mike Tyson at the same place and at the same time. You want my title, dog? I ain't gonna lay down for it. You better be ready to go hard and do something you ain't never done before. Cause I am the one. I am the anointed one. Believe that. Tell your mama about me. Trick Willie in the 6.
Well, after tonight, only one Instagram account will showcase that NXT Championship. It is on the line in a fatal four-way as Trick Williams defends against Ethan Page, Shawn Spears, and Javon Evans.
The Prodigy has told us that it is her era, but tonight she defends her NXT Women's Championship against someone who was born to fight. It's Perez against Vice with the women's title on the line.
Is Wes Lee the greatest NXT North American champion of all time? Or can he only call himself that because Obafemi hasn't had a chance to take that from him? The North American Championship is on the line tonight. Obafemi defends against Wes Lee.
As far as we know, Nathan Frazier has not yet arrived at the Scotiabank Arena.
Oh.
Hopefully he'll make it in time to team up with Axiom and defend the NXT Tag Team Championship against Chase U.
Tonight at Heatwave, the legacy of the NXT Women's North American Championship is built as the first champion, Keilani Jordan, defends against Sol Ruca.
We don't have to wait much longer for all of the action to go down. Carmen Petrovich and Ariana Grace are teaming up to take on Jacy Jayne and Jasmine Ninks right here on the Countdown Show. Let's get it over to Scotiabank Arena. Vic Joseph, Booker T, take it away.
NXT. Well, thanks, Megan. Thanks, Sam. And what a way to cap off Money in the Bank weekend. Vic Joseph, Booker T. We are here ringside. And Book, are you ready for NXT Heatwave?
Oh, ducky, quack, quack. Oh, yes, I'm ready. Oh, yes.
And what a way to kick things off here tonight is the NXT Universe continuing to file in to the Scotiabank Arena here in Toronto.
The following contest is a tag team match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, the team of Jacy Jayne and Jasmine Ninks.
Well, Book, these two have become quite the tandem in recent weeks.
Yes, man. Are you ready? You got your ticket to ride, man, on lead vocal. Jacy Jayne, back up. Jasmine Ninks, guys, we are ready to ride. Oh, yes, man.
Why Jasmine Ninks need to be backup vocal? Why can't she be lead guitar, drums, saxophone?
Vocals, man. This is a duo here.
How many C4 energy drinks have you had today? This is only the countdown to Heatwave.
I've only had three.
Well, we'll take only 3 seconds for one of these teams.
Whoa. Check it out.
You're stopping me for this?
Jacy Jayne, she's unveiling the new look. Oh, yeah.
I'm waiting for you to tell me when I can go again.
Oh, you can go now.
Okay. Well, they have upset the two superstars they're facing here tonight, who are going to have quite the homecoming here in Toronto.
Talk about that airport test, man.
No doubt Petrovich ready for a fight tonight.
And their opponents from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, the team of Carmen Petrovich and Ariana Grace.
I think Mike Rome was thrown off by the beauty of the Queen of NXT.
The Iron Queen, Vic. The Iron Queen.
Well, as you heard,
with Carmen Petrovich. Hey, how hard do you think these two lobbied to be on this show here tonight?
they earned it. Look, did you not see what happened Tuesday? You on DoorDash again this past Tuesday when everything went down?
I'm just saying.
Well, look, this is a homecoming for this duo. They're teaming because it was Grace's idea. She went to our general manager, Ava, who we've heard on the Countdown to Heatwave show within the last 20 minutes.
Isn't that lobbying Vic, for that match, for this opportunity on this night here at Heatwave,
I'm not
here
arguing.
in Canada?
Too damn early for this.
Man.
We got a whole night ahead of us, and you're not going to start with me right now. We are set, though, for this tag team matchup, and Jacy Jayne does not look too impressed.
What do you think about this tag team?
It's my job to ask. My job to ask you.
Well, I mean, I'm asking you tonight. I'm asking. You said I got three, four C4. I mean, 4 C, 3. What is it? C4s?
You had 3 C4s.
Okay, yeah.
I think you had 6.
That's what I said. The people are going nuts.
You see Carmen on the outside wearing that throwback Raptors gear here tonight. At least at this moment, she is out Torontoing her partner. And it was Grace who said she was more Canadian than her partner.
I like the strategy. I'm wasting no time, just getting right into the action. Ariana Grace has a whole lot to prove here in Canada.
Now I will ask you this.
What's that?
With these two trying to out-Toronto each other and maybe complete opposite, some would say, how are they going to work together as Jacy Jayne quickly just ripping at the hair of Ariana Grace?
I think the two being from Canada is going to give them perhaps the edge to go out here and try to do good in front of their home country. Oh, big shoulder tackle there by Ariana Grace, the Iron Queen.
Big slam from Grace as well. When we talk about Canada, we talk about the women here of NXT All Eyes last night around the return of Hall of Famer Trish Stratus. I want to thank you, Trish, for being the host of Money in the Bank as Petrovic into the cover, hook of the leg and a kick out.
There's my Hall of Fame cohort as well. Don't forget about that.
Take another look at the tag team action. Bam! These two on the same page, at least right now. And I do want to note, both families in attendance for Grace and Petrovic. And did you hear that kick?
Oh, man.
Laying in the strikes, following it up is Petrovic. Into the cover, hook of the leg, and then Jasmine Nix just able to kick out.
No, she's looking real good. And the thing is, there's so much pressure, you know, competing at home, and you got to get tickets for the family, the friends, and all that. And then you got to go out there and compete at the highest level.
Petrovic during media this week said the last time she was here in this arena was for Raw 2 years ago. She sat in the third row. It's got to be surreal to be back here competing on Heatwave. Another cover and another kick out. And I got to be quite honest, I thought Jasmine Nix and Jacy Jayne would be a little more into it right now. They look to be thrown off their game a little bit, Book.
I'll tell you right now, Ariana Grace is moving with purpose. You can just look at the eyes, Vic. Look at the body language. Right now, they're looking real good, but it's still early. Big shot.
Premium live event spotlight rightfully on these two. And to be fair, rightfully on these competitors in the best women's division in all of wrestling. And now Petrovic again, quickly, wisely, into another cover and another kick.
I got to calm down, man. We got a lot of action.
Quite the interaction here, and Jacy Jayne knows a thing or two about a thing or two in tag team competition.
Beautiful distraction by Jacy Jayne, the rock star. Beautiful tag right there, blind tag.
Yeah, Petrovic didn't realize it, but with that neck breaker, she certainly does know now that Jacy Jayne is legal. And Jayne hearing it from the NXT universe, which is still filing into the Scotiabank Arena here for NXT Heatwave, capping off Money in the Bank weekend here in Toronto.
I love everything about Jacy Jayne, how she does her work.
Oh, another cover and another kick out. Go back to earlier in this matchup. It was off the tag. Petrovic didn't realize it, and then out of nowhere, bam, there's your rock star coming right into the match. Jayne, Nix thrive on creating chaos. But whatever happened to mind your own business mindset?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
They thrive on creating chaos, getting in other people's business. Nice drop kick by Nix.
And Jasmine Nix is a student of the game, and I've said everything about Jacy Jayne that I have to say. She's a teacher. She's a general inside that square circle, looking for a big win right here.
Hook of the leg, and Petrovic again having to fight free. And you know, I'm sure Jacy Jayne will have her eyes on the women's championship matches.
Of course.
Here tonight. I wonder what her thoughts are on Chase U, who could become two-time NXT tag.
Talking about the university that she kept afloat single-handedly with that calendar, that sold out in minutes. That's what you're talking about.
Gonna get one of those calendars from behind, shoulders down, and a kick out by Jayne. I will say this about Jacy Jayne. Since Jasmine Nix and Jayne have gotten together, Nix has been on quite the hot streak in recent weeks. But look at Jayne rolling through and then right under the jaw.
Beautiful combination right there by Jacy Jayne. Hadn't missed a beat.
Nix, who we were just talking about, would love to pick up a victory here under the Premium Live Event spotlight. Nice teamwork into another cover, and Petrovic again showing the heart of a champion, able to kick out. And when we talk about Nix, we talk about Jayne. You just said earlier, what are you talking about? What do you mean? they make others have self-doubt. Maybe they should question themselves. Maybe they say nasty things in women's locker room because they can't look in the mirror.
You gotta say nasty stuff like that.
I wasn't saying nasty. I was just making an opinion.
I mean, my thing is, I'm looking at Jasmine Nix, and I'm looking at the growth of Jasmine Nix.
Shoulder shot!
Whoa!
Petrovic almost stole one here tonight.
That was close, Vic.
As you were saying, though, is Nix. Nice back elbow.
Just the growth of Jasmine Nix ever since she hooked up with J.C. Jane. That should tell you something right there, Vic. Everybody that gets on that J.C. Jane train, they go on a ride, man. How you like that?
What do you want? High five here? What do you want?
Just saying.
You got a long way ahead of you tonight, Book. As Petrovic is a long way away from making a tag.
Whoa.
This is her best opportunity. Desperately needs to make her way to Grace. And somehow, some way, she's right there.
Whoa. Great tag team work there by Jason.
Wait a minute, Booker. Separation, tag made. In comes Grace, and that's going to be a problem for J.C. Jane.
She's fresh.
And a problem for Jasmine Nix.
Big shoulder tackles on the move. Ariana Grace.
A pair of proud Canadians putting it together right here, right now, on the countdown to Heat Wave.
Can't quick.
Big elbow. Will it be enough? Jane's left shoulder just, and I mean just, getting off the mat.
JC actually slid out the back door right there, Victor.
Another tag was made. Carmen Petrovic is now legal. J.C. Jane, I think, still believes that Grace is the one who is legal for their team. But look at this. Tag team offense. Petrovic is legal, Booker. Remember, cover, count.
Whoa!
And Jasmine Nix, talk about slithering by the skin.
Whoa, man, that was so close, Vic. So close.
Tag team action starting to break down. I kind of feel bad for the official in this matchup. But Petrovic now, it's 2-on-1, no one home. J.C. Jane again ripping at the scalp, pulling out the hair. Cutting corners is what she does best.
Going into the trick bag right here. Oh, yes!
Oh, wow. What a knee. Petrovic's got to be out, and Grace sensing it and realizing it. And, well, Jane was about a half second away from maybe stopping Grace, which would have been a big victory for Jane and Nix here tonight. Grace, where is she getting this offense from? And she just got leveled.
Big
by
shot.
Nix. Swing and a miss wildly by Petrovic. Nix, a nice roll-up. Referee, great position. Grace with a pull of the hair. They did it. The duo from the 6 comes home and wins.
Here are your winners, the team of Ariana Grace and Carmen Petrovic.
If looks could kill. Did you see the look on the eyes, or in the eyes, of J.C. Jane? What a victory. What a moment. And turnabout is fair play, Book. Grace, a little bit of payback from earlier in the matchup. Pays off big time for the Canadian duo. And so it is. What a moment. Congratulations to Petrovic and Grace.
Estás, que no me lo puedo creer. Va.
Deary me. What's up, amigo?
Brother, where were you? I thought I was gonna have to defend our titles on my own.
All right, relax, all right? Travel was a nightmare. The fans swarming me. They want to take a picture with the title. Like,
Mate, if you're not locked in, we're gonna have to cross D-border without a title.
Brother, calm down, all right? I'm here now, okay? I'm locked in. Now let's go show the people why we're the best frickin' tag team on the planet, all right? Oh.
We are, yeah. All right.
So what's the game plan?
Dios mío.
Trick Williams only has a 25% chance to retain his title. He also lacks the champion's advantage. It's Trick Williams, Shawn Spears, Javon Evans, and Ethan Page in a fatal four-way for the NXT Championship. So glad to have you back here with us in the studio for Countdown to NXT Heatwave. I'm Megan Morant. He is Sam Roberts, and we're all looking forward to this fatal four-way matchup. But Javon Evans, this is his first premium live event. This is his first time out of the country, his first time in Canada. It's also his first time in the main event matchup. So can the young OG shine bright under the brightest lights?
I think he can. This is a guy who's bringing the bounce to Toronto. He dances to the sound of his own drum beats, does Javon Evans. But ever since the young OG stepped foot in NXT, he has had the entire NXT universe talking about him, waiting to see what he's capable of. And the fact is that there is a huge portion of the NXT universe that is ready to see something that we have never seen before, not only in NXT, but I would argue in the WWE as a whole. A 20-year-old like the young OG, somebody who speaks to a generation that a lot of us can't even make sense of, becoming the face of this promotion. Can you imagine?
No. Well, Shawn Spears, ever since he arrived in NXT, has completely rocked the foundation. But, you know, he's competing in his hometown, and he is the only superstar that has pinned Trick Williams since Trick has been a champion. How much of an edge does that give Shawn Spears?
Well, I think the edge that Shawn Spears has is the experience. He had a good night, and I'm sure that that gives him that confidence that he needed going in. But Shawn Spears is no stranger to big NXT events, and the fact is that they haven't worked out for him the way he's wanted them to work out. This has been a goal of Shawn Spears now for decades, to be the guy. And who knows if he's going to get another chance at it. I just wonder if Shawn Spears' attention is in the right place. He's been so wrapped up with Javon Evans that I don't know if he's paying attention to All Ego Ethan Page, and more importantly, Trick Williams.
As we count down the moments to NXT Heatwave, let's take a look back on the moments that led to this NXT Championship Fatal 4-Way matchup. It wasn't initially set to be a Fatal 4-Way, but we are here now, so let's take a look back at how we got here.
I talked about this. I dreamt about this. We all wanted this. Trick Williams is your new NXT champion.
This is a new era led by Trick Williams.
We're gonna call this the That era. Trick Williams, champ. The next challenger for your championship will be decided in a 25-man over-the-top battle royal.
Who's headed to the NXT Championship match?
Yo, this is crazy.
The young OG riding the wave of momentum. Evans is going to Heatwave.
I've never even left the country before. I had to go get a passport for this. This is me and you for that title, my boy. Come on now, Heatwave.
Wrong.
Bro. I'm still in the battle royal. It's still happening right now. I was never eliminated.
Onside Oro going right at Ethan Page. He hated on the young OG for winning that battle royal, said it's null, it's void, it doesn't count. Ethan Page has defeated the #1 contender.
Now we're back on track.
We got a new #1 contender. The way I see it.
I am coming for that NXT title. I've been building a reputation for a long time around the world. And now, I'm exactly where I need to be.
I was the guy who pinned Javon first.
Shawn Spears called his shot.
I already put down Javon Evans, and I was the first man to pin Trick Williams since he became champion.
An absolutely stunned NXT universe.
Spears just beat the NXT champion.
Javon won the Battle Royal.
But Ethan beat Javon.
All right. Here's what I'm gonna do. Everyone has compelling cases. So, Heatwave, NXT Championship, Fatal 4-Way.
A Fatal 4-Way match where anything can happen. This is my biggest test yet. 3 challenges. The young OG.
Everybody's gonna know that boy's It's all love, but, you know, I'm coming after him.
Goofy ass Spears.
It happens. Toronto, Canada.
I will reach the pinnacle. And all talk Ethan Page.
There's only room for one of us to be the guy. And that's all ego, baby.
My back has always been against the wall. But when it comes to this NXT title, I come through every single time.
The only thing that will happen is I'm retaining my NXT title. Toronto, you already know what we gonna do.
Tonight, when it comes to my opponent at Heat Wave, it don't matter.
NXT brings the heat to Toronto.
Our NXT champion finds himself in the middle of chaos.
With a fatal four-way match for the NXT Championship.
Oh, yes, man.
Plus, a battle for the NXT Women's Championship.
There is not one woman that can take this title away from me.
These fists don't lie.